Tonight, right before you fall asleep, something is going to happen to you. You won't notice it. You never do. There will be a moment, maybe 20, maybe 30 seconds, where you're not quite awake and not quite asleep. Your body will go still. Your thoughts will stop making sense. And for just a moment, you'll see things, faces you don't recognize, places you've never been. And then you'll be asleep. And you'll forget it all. But here's what science has recently discovered. That exact moment, that strange, slippery edge between waking and sleep, may be the most creatively powerful state the human brain can enter. And some of the greatest minds in history figured out how to live there on purpose. They didn't stumble into it by accident. They had a method, a deliberate, repeatable technique, and it changed everything they created. We'll get to that. The phenomenon has a name. It's called the hypnagogic state, from the Greek hypnos meaning sleep, and agogos meaning leading into. It's the threshold, the doorway, the 30 seconds your brain spends transitioning from one world to another. Here's what's actually happening inside your brain. When you're alert, your brain produces beta waves. Fast, tight, logical. As you relax, it drops into alpha waves. Slower, calmer, like daydreaming. Then something unusual happens. For a brief period, theta waves begin to emerge. While alpha waves haven't fully disappeared, this overlap, this collision, is the hypnagogic state. And in this state, the part of your brain responsible for logic begins to go offline. But the part responsible for imagination stays lit. The filter is down. The editor has left the room. And what's left is something your waking mind almost never gets to experience. Pure, unguarded thought. The brain making connections it would never allow itself to make when fully awake. Connections that leap across categories, that join things that don't seem related, that arrive at solutions logic would never have found. It's not random, it's a different kind of intelligence. Thomas Edison had a chair. He kept it in his laboratory in New Jersey. Edison was famously contemptuous of sleep. He called it a waste of time. He claimed he only needed 4 hours a night. But what Edison actually did was something far stranger. He would sit in that chair, holding 2 steel ball bearings, one in each hand. On the floor below each hand, he placed a metal saucer. Then he would let himself fall asleep. The moment he crossed into unconsciousness, his hands would open. The steel balls would drop. They'd hit the metal saucers. The noise would wake him instantly. And Edison would immediately write down whatever had been in his mind at the exact moment of crossing over. He called these sessions his napmares. He wasn't sleeping. He was fishing. Salvador Dalí used the exact same technique. A key held over a plate. A chair in his studio. The same deliberate descent. He called the images that appeared the slumber with a key. 2 of the most creative minds in history. Same method, different tools. In 2021, researchers at Harvard decided to test whether Edison's method actually worked. They gave participants a math problem. The problem had a hidden shortcut buried inside it. A rule that let you solve it 8 times faster. Most people didn't notice it while fully awake. The logical mind kept following the long path. Then, researchers recreated Edison's method. They had participants hold an object in their cautions and let themselves drift towards sleep, waking them at the exact threshold. The result was striking. Participants woken from the hypnagogic state were nearly 3 times more likely to discover the hidden shortcut. 3 times. The filter wasn't just down, it was an advantage. Once you know what to look for, you start seeing it everywhere in history. Auguste Kekulé, the chemist who discovered the ring structure of benzene, said the answer. Came in a hypnagogic vision. He saw a snake eating its own tail. He woke up and understood. Carbon molecules form a ring, not a chain. The entire modern pharmaceutical industry traces part of its foundation to a half-asleep chemist. Watching a dream snake. Edgar Allan Poe wrote about it directly. He called it the vivid, yet candid reason of the edge of sleep. Even Beethoven fell asleep at the piano, waking to notate fragments that appeared. The door was always there. Here's the problem. Modern life has made this state nearly inaccessible. The average person falls asleep with a screen in their face. Blue light suppresses melatonin. But it does something else too. It keeps your brain locked in beta waves right up until the moment you crash. There's no gradual descent. No gentle slope through alpha into theta. You go from stimulated to unconscious. The threshold disappears. You don't drift. You fall. And the hypnagogic window gets skipped entirely. Every single night, your brain offers you something. A brief window? 30 seconds? Maybe less. Where the rules change. Where logic softens. Where connections form that can't form any other way. Edison knew it. Dalí knew it. Kekulé knew it. Poole knew it. And until about 100 years ago, every human being on Earth had a natural relationship with this state. Tonight, before you fall asleep, you'll pass through it. The question is whether you'll be awake enough to notice.